We've all met people in our lives or been forced to work with people in various situations that we cannot stand and we don't like to be around. So the point of this video, I'm going to be talking about that guy and the different types of that guy that you'll commonly come across in the fire service and why you shouldn't be that person. Conversely, the opposite of that guy is what I call a go-to. A go-to is a person that you do want to be around, that if you're new to the fire service, or maybe if you've been in the fire service for a while, you want to turn yourself into a go-to. So let's get started. So I actually got the idea from this video from a video done by Jocko Willink. He did a video where he talked about reputation killers in the SEAL teams. And obviously, while being a fireman and a Navy SEAL are two completely different things, they do have some similarities in that they're both either a military or a paramilitary organization. They force people to be together in uncomfortable situations for long periods of time, and obviously a few other similarities here and there. So like I said before, I want to talk about things that you don't want to do that will kill your reputation, and you never, never, never want to be labeled that guy in one of these things. So the first one, and this is probably useful for a lot of you that watch this, because a lot of people that watch this channel are new to the fire service or interested in joining the fire service. The first person you don't want to be is the obnoxious new guy. Now, I am not in the camp of talking down to or disrespecting or being mean to people just because they're new or they don't know a lot yet. But there are a lot of new firefighters, men and women, rookies, probies that show up at a fire department because they have a few months worth of training at a fire academy. They think they're going to impress everybody else. You're not going to impress anybody. You've heard me talk about this before on this channel. Chances are, whatever crew you step onto, you're going to be surrounded by decades of experience. And while you may have been taught to do something one way and they do something differently, I promise you, you have so much to learn that coming in with an attitude and acting like you know what you're doing already is not going to go over well. I mean, imagine that in your own life. If something that you know a lot that you've been doing for years and somebody that's brand new at it shows up and tells you why you're doing it wrong, it's probably not going to be received that well. So whatever you do, do not be the obnoxious new guy. The second guy you don't want to be in the firehouse is the guy that doesn't know his job. Now, guy that doesn't know his job is probably the worst guy on this list. We have all worked with those people that, whether it be a fire call, EMS call, a rescue call, whatever, whenever those tones go off, they crap their pants, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to handle the situation. Now, it's impossible to be perfect. You will never know everything there is to know about the fire service. And certain people have certain strengths and weaknesses, and that's okay too. But I'm talking about the guy that really doesn't know the first thing of how to do his job, when to do his job, the very basics. And unfortunately, those people are out there. And it's particularly demoralizing to a department when that person that doesn't know their job is in a position of authority or leadership. That becomes particularly frustrating and demoralizing for the rest of the crew. So whatever you do, do not be the guy that doesn't know his job. That guy's awful to be around, and he's actually dangerous. The next guy is I call him the nickel and dimer. And anybody that's worked in the fire service for a long time, as soon as I said that, I'm sure somebody popped into your head of, oh, I know that guy. Nickel and dimer doesn't just mean actual money nickel and diming, although that is very annoying too. If you're new to the fire service, a lot of times at the beginning of the day, they'll throw in $5, $10 or whatever, and everybody will cook dinner. One person will cook dinner for everybody, or breakfast and lunch, or whatever. The nickel and dimer is the guy or the girl that wants exact change. They're the person, if dinner came to $7.42, they want it down to the penny. Don't be that person. Obviously, don't let anybody take things from you, but at the same time, don't be that nickel and dimer. Now, the nickel and dimer doesn't just deal with money. The nickel and dimer also deals with time off. Trade time is a big thing in the fire service. The nickel and dimer is the person that will agree to do trade time with you and will never let you forget the fact that they did you a favor. That one time 3 years ago, they traded 4 hours and you owe them. Don't be that person. That person's horrible to be around. And if you're new to the fire service and you figure out who the nickel and dimer is, never, 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 never trade time with that person. Don't be the nickel and dimer. The next person that you don't want to be is the gossip. You've heard me talk before on this channel that if you have something that you want to keep quiet or keep to yourself, you probably shouldn't repeat it at work. What's that old saying that bad news travels around the world before good news has a chance to get its shoes on, or something like that? Bad news travels fast, and there are a lot of gossips in the fire service. I get it. Sometimes if there's something that's going on that's juicy news or whatever, everybody wants to share it with everybody else. But don't be the gossip. Don't be the person that if you found out somebody that you work with is going through a divorce and nobody knows. Don't be the person that sits at the kitchen table and tells everybody that. That person is awful to be around. Nobody trusts that person, and nobody likes to be around a gossip. The next person is the is the obnoxious, egotistical, back in my day guy. Back in my day guy is the guy that can't do the job anymore, but still tries to tell everybody else how to do their job. And I'm not taking away from the knowledge or experience that that person has, but there's a time for everything where you just need to move on. And there's a lot of people still hanging out in the fire service that haven't gotten that message. They want to talk about how back in their day they did this, or when I worked here, this is how we did it. And that's great. It's good input. It's good information. But everybody that works in the fire service now, I'm sure, can point to somebody or can think of somebody that they work with that is a back in my day guy. And the back in my day guy is not enjoyable to be around. Nobody seeks that person out for information because they know they're just going to get cornered and lectured for hours. And then finally, the last person you don't want to be in the firehouse is you don't want to be the crab. Now, the crab is the guy or the girl that's been there for a long time, that is burned out, that is just miserable, never has anything positive to say, never smiles, never laughs, always has some sort of negative, condescending remark to everybody. The crab is just a drag to be around. The crab, nobody wants to be on the crew with the crab. Nobody likes to hang out with the crab. Nobody likes to talk to the crab. Don't be the crab. And I get it. Over time, dealing with the public day in and day out can get very wearing. Or maybe you've had some personal issues or things that have gone on in your life, or maybe even at work, that makes you kind of burned out and worn out with the job. Just try your best not to be a crab. I get it. Everybody has bad days, but everybody knows who I'm talking about, who is the perpetual crab, never, ever has anything positive to say. Conversely, the opposite of that guy is the go-to. Now, a go-to is somebody that everybody, I think, should strive to be one of these. I have 3 different versions of the go-to. I'm sure there's more. Everybody likes the go-to. Everybody wants to be like a go-to or be around a go-to. And the first type of go-to, I just call them the expert. The expert is the person, not necessarily the expert at everything, but maybe they're just the expert at one little thing. Maybe they're the person that has totally mastered forcible entry, or has totally mastered pump operations, or EMS training, or something like that. The go-to is the person that the expert go-to is someone that, whatever's going on, they're the person that leads the classes. If anybody has any questions, they go to this person for whatever that is. And the go-to doesn't just necessarily have to be fire-related skills or EMS-related skills. For example, there's a guy I work with who's a mechanic, and he handles anything with an engine and wheels. That's his domain. Everybody loves this guy. He's a great guy too, but he's the go-to person if you're having problems with your own car. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He's just salt of the earth kind of guy. He's the expert when it comes to all things mechanical. Do whatever you can to be an expert, even if it's just a very small niche area. Try to master at least 1 or 2 things while you're on the job. The next person that is the go-to is the vault. The vault is a really hard person to find. The vault, you just heard me talk about how if you have something personal going on or something you want to keep secret, don't talk about it at work. The vault, there's maybe only a handful of those in each firehouse where you can tell them anything. You can tell them job-related stuff. You can tell them personal-related stuff. And no matter what you tell them, it will never, ever, ever leave that person. Everybody likes to be around somebody that's a vault. Everybody likes to have someone that they can kind of confide things in, and they don't have to worry about them running around and spreading it all over the place. Do your best to be a vault. And like I said, I get it. Sometimes there's juicy gossip or information that everybody's talking about, but everybody respects the vault and everybody wants to be around a vault. And then the last one, this kind of goes hand in hand, is the helping hand person. They're the person that'll give you the shirt off their back. They're the person that'll help you move when you don't even ask them to help you move. And everybody hates moving, right? Nobody wants to be the person that does that. There's a lot of helping hands in the fire service. There's so many good men and women in the fire service. Do your best to be that person that goes out of your way to do things for your fellow firefighters, for the new firefighters, senior firefighters, whoever. The helping hand is someone always wants to be around, and that's a really good person to be in the firehouse. So as always, I hope you guys found this useful and helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.